Good evening, SSDA members, and happy Friday. I am sure that a lot of you have been scrambling since the governor's announcement for shelter in place, and I feel for you. This PowerPoint is going to really help you, I believe, to lead during this very difficult point of the restore stage of a catastrophe or a pandemic. So I hope you enjoy it. Again, let's start with talking about your leadership and how it's going to be tested. You have to think of this as like a fire, and the fire is still burning, and you're trying to get things restored and recovered, really recovered to start. So check your leadership. How'd you do yesterday? What's your plans for the day? Take a deep breath early in the morning and check yourself, okay? Remember, you must stay in your lane. Try to stay laser focused on the what's at hand, and that is really to get your students their education. It's so hard. I know emails come flying in. Try to stay in your lane. Your job is to prepare your school and district for that time when your students are fully back in some type of normalcy. Also, remind yourself that you are a leader in the community and you need to help everyone stop the virus. That's a great leader. People are going to try to do things out of the box and try to help out of the norm, and also out of the executive orders that we're getting. Remind yourself and them that the community needs to stop this virus. So I'm going to start by focusing on your leadership with your board. And if you don't have a great relationship with your board, if they don't trust you, or there's a few that want to be in charge, it's time to send them a message. So first and foremost, you need to send them bullet points that are right to the point. I'm going to go over messaging, but you need to be very succinct with them. Second, talk to them about leadership. I need you guys to stay out of the weeds. You have less governance to do, so focus on leading us together. Be a role model of leadership. And again, focus on what's best to get those students back into some normalcy while they're at home. We need everyone on the same page. Remind yourself, and especially your board, we're not going to let perfection get in the way of done. I'd put that up everywhere with your staff. I had a few spelling errors on this. It took me 5 minutes to fix them. You know what? Get it done. So get things done. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just the best you can do. So suggestions to talk to your board about immediately. First, this is wartime. It's like wartime. We are all locked down. This is going to last for months, not days. So here are some tips for you to deal with that. Long Beach Unified, San Diego, and other districts are given the authority of the superintendent to delegate all decisions during the coronavirus. This is given a message that the board and the staff understand that you're now the CEO of the organization. I know that's easier said than done, but you'll see throughout that that will be critical. Some of you don't have a great relationship or trust factor with your boards, so you may have to throw in the board and the board president, but you need as little blocking as possible. Remind the board there's less governance. There's no kids. There's truly, it's wide open. You're not going to have testing. You're not going to take attendance. You're not going to have expulsions. You're basically just going to start out, especially in this first month or so, with less governance. So they need to focus on not worrying about governance, but helping you get the kids back into a safe normalcy. Develop a common message to employees, which I'll go over, and have your board live by them. And lastly, remind them and yourself no to as many meetings as possible. You have some ritual meetings. This is really going to be important for the first couple weeks coming up. And then you can start getting back in some different meetings that you have. But learn to say no to meetings. Tell the board that. You have to stick to 2 or 3 meetings, but try not to get overwhelmed with that. And have the board help you know we're not going to have a subcommittee meeting right now. This is a very important message right here. Your board has to work with you to keep employees comforted by letting them know they're going to get paid and keep their job through the year. Don't answer any questions after this year. Tell them you're going to get paid and we care about you. Communication will be key, and that you as the superintendent will not shut people off. You'll shut people in. You'll communicate regularly, and the board needs to know that. And then lastly, remind them of the oath they took for the U.S. Constitution, state constitution, under executive orders from both the president and the governor. They have a personal responsibility to stop this virus, to follow the direction of the governor, and especially around best practices, and get people to help us stop the virus. Let's talk about messaging from you to your staff. You have to constantly tell them how much you care about them and support them, and that they will get paid. Very important. People are worried. Now that they're back home, they're constantly sitting there going, I wonder if I have a job next year. All you can tell them is we're going to get you paid. We're going to work hard. We're going to work with the county office, make sure payroll's done. That's very important. You need to tell staff that you're going to daily interact with them, either with your voice. They need to hear your voice. So does the parents. So use all methods you can to each day have a daily contact with your staff, especially for the next 2 weeks. And whether that's on Zoom or you do a conference call, they need to hear that voice that things are moving along. Super important for them to be mindful of their community. Small businesses are losing jobs. Close to 1 million people have lost their job already. They need to be mindful, because in the back of their mind, their neighbor who lost their job is looking at you and going, well, you got a job. You get to work at home. You get PERS. You get STIR. So be mindful of that. And everything they do, and they're being authentic to people, they're mindful that people are hurting out there. And then lastly, tell your staff as the leader, I'm not caring about academics right now. We have children that just got shocking news, families that got shocking news. Focus on our MTS and whole child. Engage them in those type of practices. Infuse it in things you do. Get to the academics when they're ready. But right up front, it's really about that relationship and that key component of MTSS. So here's an agenda for your staff. And I would say keep it to these 5 bullets. Maybe you have 1 or 2 other things you like to throw in, but I would keep it very succinct. I'm going to talk about how to run a staff meeting during a recovery stage. Start with your district, the county office, and county updates. Take the SSDA state national updates and whip that out right in the beginning. Show them that you are a leader. You are on top of what's going on around you. Follow up frequently asked questions. So yesterday, Mrs. Smith asked about what are we doing with this? You have an answer for that. If you don't, say you're still working on it. It's very important that everyone learns that they need to be short and to the point. Short and to the point. If you go to a briefing with law enforcement, it's very short and to the point. They get things done and they're prepared. This is not your typical staff meeting where you ask people how they're feeling, to fill out a post-it and put your top 3 values you have. This is a meeting that's very, very much around a central command center during a crisis. I would begin to start threading in mental health, anxiety, and things like that. You will have victims teaching victims. Once some family members, or hopefully no staff or anybody, but you're going to have death around you in your county, in your city, in your town, things are going to kick up a notch. And you don't want victims teaching victims without getting support. And then I think the last one, I just got this from Mary Sakuma, the county superintendent in Butte, a checkout. What rumors are you guys hearing? That is very important. It's really good to get that, if not from your staff, from your office people, but what rumors are out there? Ask the board. What are the rumors? I need to know them, and end your meeting that way. Okay, this is about running your staff meetings, but really it's about running your board meetings. It's about running your office meetings. You need to develop new rules of engagement. This is not your regular rules of engagement where this is in a crisis situation. So therefore you need very much synthesize your information that's very essential to the question and answer it and move on. You got to get people to stay in your lane. Your meetings, are so important to stay in your lane. So if someone starts bringing up, did you hear that McDonald's is now doing this, and 8 people start going that direction, pull them back in. We're all guilty of it. Tell everyone, including yourself, be prepared, be on point. If possible, give them a walkthrough of how, a presentation, how you want the meetings to be done, right? You can even do a little YouTube video. Here's how we're going to do it. In the meantime, just practice to really get these things succinct. The counties and districts that have been through this type of crisis, or a type of crisis like this, they're already clicking this thing in. And remember, time is your most precious resource, especially for you, and you have to let people know you're working 12 hours a day and time is very precious. And next, your office staff. They are, you know who they are. They're your mission central control. They're the most invaluable people you probably need during this time. They're your right and left hand. You have to first tell them your job is to get people paid. Get people paid, get food out to the kids, the very bare essentials. They are like your first responder. If you're the captain of a fire department, they're the ones going out there and getting the work done and putting out the fires. So they're very vital, they're very critical. This is the time to really tell them and pull them together and go, I need you. You guys, more so than anybody, are going to be asked to do more and help us more. If you can't handle that, I need to know. And you have to tell them to stay in their lane. The last rumor control thing you need is going piping through. This isn't the day where the secretary's got 6 moms in the office and they're talking about rumors. They need to stay in the lane, go back and look at what your mission critical issues are, and work with you. Be very frank with these people and tell them you need to be frank. They are so valuable for your sanity, and they need to know what their new role is. Okay, Tim, this is all great, but to tell you the truth, my relationship with the board sucks. Some teachers have been mad at me because I make them go to work, and my office staff, and us are not getting along. Well, now's not the time to fix the bad stuff, and tell them that. I know we've had some issues in the past. It's not the time. What is the time is, what do we do well together, and let's do it better. You have to be humble and really be authentic, and those go hand in hand with humility. So if you've had some issues, lay it out. I know we've had some issues, but this is not the time. Have faith in my leadership. I'm here to help the kids and you. And then in the end, if all else fails and you just got that one person that just is not going to fall in line, don't lead by the lowest common denominator. You don't have time for that. So if someone's going to be on your radar and it's causing you issues, let it go. Assign somebody else to them. Don't make that happen. And also, we want to put out to you, and I'll say this at the end too, we're here to help you as well at SSDA. So on your computer, which you're on all the time, I would write down 10 takeaways from this presentation. I'm going to stay in my lane, right? I'm going to communicate daily in person. We're going to stop this virus together. Students first. Whatever your 10 things are, have that right now. If you go through this, sit down and write down 10 things and put it on the side of your computer like I do about those things. And remember, you got this, okay? You're going to get this, and you're going to get help, and we're going to get through this. I just love this one because it's so true, especially during this stage. Lead like a duck. You see that duck? They're cruising along. They're all smooth and happy, looking for some bread. They're calm. Down low, they're paddling like maniacs. They're schizophrenic. They don't know what they're doing, and they say ducks let water just rolls off them. So does crap, I guess. They always look clean. You do the same. Lead like a duck. Let the crap roll off you, and paddle as fast as you can during this time. Hope you enjoyed this, and I want you to know we're here to help you. Email me if you've hit the wall, and we'll get you some help from our incredible board. I have 15 great board members and 2 consultants ready to help you. Have a great weekend.